Good morning and happy Halloween. I'm KHOU Meteorologist Chris Ramirez with another weather update. We are still seeing widespread rain fall across southeast Texas. Just keep in mind that we are now starting to see some minor flooding in some locations. So as we look at our weather impact alert day, it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wet roads, ponding on roadways definitely possible. So might want to slow down, be extra cautious on those roadways and pay attention to the weather forecast. Looking at our radar right now, we're dealing with several flood advisories that are now have been issued. There is one for Austin and Waller counties. This is along I-10 north of Brookshire. This heavy rain is actually moving into Katy. So just keep in mind that areas off to the west of town now starting to see some of these heavy showers and some lightning with it. Also just near Sugarland for portions of Fort Bend County, another flood advisory. The good news is that we're seeing a break in this rain right now, but we're still seeing that heavy rain falling south of the Houston area along the south belt. So there is a flood advisory until 12:45 this afternoon for Brazoria and portions of Harris counties. There has been close to 1 to 3 inches of rain in this location. An additional 1 inch of rain still expected as we head into the next few hours or so. Looking at the flood advisory, we've seen close to 1.1, 2.7, close to 3 just north of Brookside Village, 2.1 inches of rain just along I-45. And this rain is definitely continuing to fall south of town in the west of the Houston area. So as we look at future track, we're going to continue these showers at least through the next several hours for much of the afternoon. Right now, mostly south of downtown Houston, but we're going to see that sea breeze frontal boundary might want to bring those showers up to the northern parts of town as we head into the later hours for our area. So closer to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, that's when we're going to start seeing that heavier downpours moving into the north Houston area along 45 as well as along 290. So definitely rain chances still at play for today. But the good news is that once we get closer towards the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to start seeing a little bit of a break and a cease of this rainy activity. So might have some good news in terms of this, our trick-or-treating forecast, but it's going to be wet and soggy out there as much of our area is still going to be dealing with these heavy showers and storms for this afternoon. So good news also, rain chances diminishing closer towards the 10 p.m. hour, but we're still continuing to track these heavy downpours south and west of the Houston area for the later part of our afternoon. So just going to go ahead and reiterate what's going on right now. We are seeing those heavier downpours occurring south of the Houston area, even west of the Houston area, dealing with those continuous downpours as well as some dangerous lightning with these storms. We're not seeing any wind threats with this, but now we're starting to see this heavy rain provide some minor flooding issues for much of our area west of town, especially along I-10 and in around the Katy area. Flood advisory in place for portions of Austin and Waller County, but I can only imagine that they might add portions of western Harris County as this batch of rain is now moving well to the southeast of Katy. But looking at the rest of our area, we're expecting this other flood advisory now south of the Beltway. We're seeing heavy downpours definitely moving through our area towards south of downtown. So break in that area near Fort Bend County and near Sugarland, they're still under a flood advisory, but the good news is that they're seeing a little bit of a break in that. But now this heavier downpour is now moving towards Genoa, Pasadena, Galena Park, along 45, as they've already seen 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. So be extra cautious out there, give enough space between yourself and the cars in front of you. I know we haven't received rain in quite some time, so we probably forgot how to drive out on those roadways, but just use extreme cautions as roads could become slick due to the oil from other vehicles. But right now, south of the Beltway near Pearland Parkway, we're dealing with heavy rain with some lightning with that. We've seen close to 2 to 3 inches of rain so far in some of these areas, so just keep in mind an additional half an inch to 1 inch of rain expected as we head into the next several hours. Just to kind of reiterate the future track, we're expecting this to continue for much of the afternoon. We do have that sea breeze frontal boundary. This is all a part of a stationary front, but once we get closer towards maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, we're going to see a little bit of a shift in these storms moving north of downtown Houston. So areas near 290, 249, North I-45, North Beltway might be dealing with these downpours as these storms will shift to the northern parts of our area as we head closer towards this evening. But like I said, once we get closer towards 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we're going to see a little bit of a break in this rainy activity. We still could see some downpours along our coastal areas, but we might still see some quiet conditions, at least for this evening. But it's going to be pretty soggy out there, and the roads are still going to be slick, even though we get closer towards 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And then eventually we're going to see a cease of that rain activity through the 10 p.m. hours. So for your trick-or-treating forecast, we are expecting this to continue at least through 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock hours. 20% chance of showers lasting through 7. We might see a few showers out there, but then by 9 p.m. it's going to be drying out with those soggy conditions still at play. But by 5 p.m. we're still expecting that rainy activity to still be in the picture for the earlier parts of our afternoon. So be extra cautious out there, and we're giving you continuous updates regarding the rain and the potential for minor flooding due to these flood advisories on our KHOU.com as well as on the KHOU app. So flood advisory in effect for south of our area now, especially for Sugar Land. There is another flood advisory in place for south of the Hobby Airport. I also want to keep in mind that they have issued some ground stops for our area airports, especially Hobby. I think it was about a 60-minute ground stop there for the Hobby Airport as we're seeing some of this heavier rain and lightning across South Houston. So heavy rain still expected to last across our area for the next few hours. So be extra cautious if you do find yourself in these rainy conditions, and you drive very carefully, especially as we have trick-or-treaters that probably are going to start emerging out across our area between the hours of 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And as always, we are going to continue to keep you up to date on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 app.